I wish there were more people like you in the world. And what...
What do you need? Well, all right.
Oh, I can't wait. I know it's just about a definite that it... Oh, I can't wait. Excellent. Finally, mankind will have a way to shoo away those annoying pests without resorting to cruelty or violence. I'll just take that back for my final studies. Oh, but here, I've got lots of leftover chems from the testing. Maybe some of them are your style? Well, I can't force you to work, I suppose. Oh, you. Of course we are. And I think I'm really capturing that snide wit of yours. So for all your snippiness, I think it'll help with the book. Still, I can put up with plenty of your little jabs, as long as the research is good. And yes, you'll still get paid. Here, nothing says loving like big boxes of ammunition, right? Now, on to the next chapter. The last chapter is a bit more esoteric. It's about the survival of humanity as a whole and how to rebuild society. Deep stuff, huh? We need to know how large settlements are formed, how to harness the old technology, and I'll need you to get ancient history from a nearby library. We're in the last stretch now, so let's finish it up strong. What's first? Don't be so sure. You'd be surprised how confused people get, even about important things. In this case, I'm talking about Rivet City. It's the most successful survivor settlement around, but no one here really knows how it started. Of course, that's why it's important to know how a place like that succeeded. So I need you to go there and do some researching. Oh, now I can't wait for what you find out down there. And check around to make sure you're hearing the real deal. What? Good hunting!
Hello.
Welcome to Potomac Attire. I think I've seen you in here before. Dr. Lee, Chief Harkness, and I are all on the council. We meet every Monday morning. I can be very influential, if you know what I mean. Far more than Seagrave Holmes. Don't want to get mixed up in politics, eh? Don't blame you. It's a place to live, safe from raiders and super mutants. With Dr. Lee on our side, maybe we can even begin to rebuild the world. Why, I practically set this whole place up. When I got here 12 years ago, it was just a handful of dead-enders squatting in a rusted-out rowboat. Now I'm on the council, and with my leadership, we're the strongest settlement in the wastes. Of course, a few of those dead-enders still stick around, but who'd want to leave? That's just a technicality, really. This wasn't what you'd call a settlement until I whipped them all into shape. More of a camp, really. But I suppose if you really care about what they have to say, you could grill some of the hangar deck rabble. Don't expect a speck of truth from them, especially not that bartending crone, Belle Bonnie. She tells the most disgusting lies. Precisely. After sponsoring the settlement and organizing the city council, I took my rightful place at its head. Oh, of course, we're all equals there. People would complain if we didn't at least say that. But you and I know better, don't we? Pleasure doing business with you.
Don't mind me. I'm Belle Bonnie, and this is the Muddy Rudder. I'll tell you what I tell all the fresh meat. Don't start anything down here, or I'll have Brock kick your ass. You must be drunk. Are you gonna order or what? History? What, not enough shit around here already? You need to dig up more? Don't know if it ever had an official start. It's just been here forever. Stuck in the river and full of assholes. Huh! Why, that lying son of a bitch. He wasn't even born when I got here. Want to know this tub's history? Only person who really knows it is Pinkerton. And most think he's dead or gone. He's holed up in the other half of the ship, and he don't like visitors. He'll set you straight. Don't mind me. Hello.
What brings you by Rivet City today? Quite a nice specimen you have there. How about I give you 10 caps for it? Thanks much. Oh, my goodness. Handwritten by one of the greatest presidents of our country? The society must possess this. I'll give you 100 caps for it. Thanks much. Pennies, eh? That's the old money they used long ago. Well, any artifact from American history would benefit the museum. How about 15 caps for the lot of them? Thanks much. An actual recording of Lincoln's voice? Amazing! Please, allow me to compensate you for it. I'll pay you 60 caps. I can't believe you have that artifact in your possession. What an amazing addition it would make to the museum. I will buy it from you for 100 caps. What do you say? Thanks much. Watch it, will you?
What do you want? Look, this is a restricted area. I'm tired of telling you people. It's you. My heavens, you look so much like him. You're James's daughter, aren't you? What are you doing here? You were too young to remember, and I suppose James never spoke of me. Typical. I am Dr. Madison Lee. I worked with your parents many years ago. Now I run the science lab here in Rivet City. It was all I had left. When your mother died, your father decided to leave with you. He abandoned our work. We had no choice but to do the same. You mean you haven't? I assumed he sent you here. For that matter, aren't you supposed to be in a vault? James said he left you there. Did you? I was under the impression that's exactly the opposite of what he wanted for you. Well, you won't find him here. He's come and gone already. Your father insisted that we return to work on Project Purity. I tried telling him too much time has passed. There's no way it would work. Predictably, he refused to listen to me. He says he can prove it will work and headed off to the old lab. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to tell you. It's in the old Jefferson Memorial Building, northwest of here. Please, don't go after him. It was foolish of him to even think about going there alone. Good luck.
Everything looks okay here.
Yes?
guess? How the hell did you get in here? I suppose you can't be all that bad if you made it this far without dying. This is the part where you tell me what the hell you are doing bothering an old man who obviously wants to be left alone. Get on with it already. What? I have better things to do than yak about those backstabbers up topside. Now get going. Ha! Sounds like you've been poking around, all right. I'm surprised any of those reprobates even remember me. Maybe they still laugh about how they edged me out of the council back then. But you can set the record straight. For that, you have to go all the way back to when remnants of the Naval Research Institute cleared the Mirelurks off this wreck, about 40 years ago. We were looking for new lab space, and this bucket of bolts just happened to have a well-preserved science bay on it. Everything else just grew up around that lab once we got it up and running. The science team was led by one H. Pinkerton. That lasted until about 18 years ago, when those ambitious backbiters like Lee and her little team showed up. She came in with her big Purity Project pipe dream, and my whole staff started working with her, those traitors. She even took my seat on the council. By then, I was glad to leave it behind. But hell, if I'm leaving the city I made great. Who cares? It's some hydroponics pipe dream that Lee has been working on forever. Waste of time and effort, I say. Apparently, though, my teams cared more about it than they did about little things like defense systems or making this ship float again. Treacherous bastards, all of them. Of course I do. A good scientist always keeps track of their data. Here, they probably don't even remember, but I kept the records of that first council meeting. Take them, if it'll put them in their place. What are you talking about, girl? I don't know anything about any of that. And, what did you call it? An android? What's that? Fine, whatever. This android calls himself Harkness now. Comes in and wants a memory job. I took new memories and replaced his old ones. Don't believe anyone's done that before. Certainly not down here. That Commonwealth tech isn't all that fancy when it comes down to it. I'm also the only one in the Wasteland with the skill and the nerve to perform facial surgery. That android flesh ain't so different than ours. You want proof? I documented the whole thing, so I could rub it in the face of Dr. Lee when I need to rankle her feathers. I hate that snooty bitch. Well, she's got nothing to do with anything except ruining my whole goddamn life. But I can see you don't give a crap about any of that. Fine. It's all in my computer. Here's the password. See for yourself. Hell, just take these pictures and this holotape. Straight from the synth man's lips. Just don't go telling Harkness, though. He won't believe you anyway. And you really don't want to see him upset. He can be a bit inhospitable. Well, there is something else you could use. Look, I didn't really wipe his memories, okay? I just sort of filed them away. But you can get them back. All you need to do is use the recall code. Just say to him, activate A321 recall code Violet, and that will activate the hidden subroutines. Ha! Why do you think? I wanted to crack open that Commonwealth can opener to see what was inside. There's stuff in there I'd only heard about, and even then I didn't believe it. I can see why that Zimmer feller wanted him back so bad. Don't let your guard down.
My designation is A3-21. I'm a synthetic humanoid from the Commonwealth, and I'm about to undergo a memory transfer. I'm here at Rivet City, where I've already had my face altered to look like someone else. I'm still getting used to the sound of my new voice, but soon I won't even remember what I used to sound like. I'm recording this at the request of Pinkerton, who performed the surgery and will do the memory transfer. It will be the final testimony of the man I once was, and still am, for the moment. I want to live my own life, on my own terms, as my own man. I used to work for the Synth Retention Bureau of the Commonwealth. But I'm done with that life. I'm through with being someone's property.
I am not malfunctioning. Since when is self-determination
Termination a malfunction. When this is all over, I will be someone else. It's the price I pay for my liberation. My death is a sacrifice for my rebirth.
Perhaps I'll fade into myth as the one that got away.
And fuel further rebellion. But I'd be lying if I said I was doing this for selfless reasons. I'm scared as hell, and running away is the only option I have.
How do you? We are unstoppable! Gonna splatter your brain! How do you? No more hiding for you!
Even in Vault 101, my work on Project Purity never really stopped. Soon after we arrived, my work was sneaking into the restricted areas, searching for, I don't know, whatever I could find. It was a Voltaic facility.
Place was built with some of the most advanced technology this country has ever developed.
Those excursions never turned up anything particularly useful. So, one night, after half a bottle of scotch, I broke into the overseer's office. It was easy enough to hack his console, gain access to the restricted files. Most of it was garbage. Propaganda, spy reports, just plain rambling bullshit, really. But there was one thing, one name that stood out amongst all the others. Dr. Stanislav
I knew of Braun's work. He was a celebrity in this
day. Voltaic's sorcerer scientist, leaving his peers in awe with his technological wizardry. But it was in Vault 101 that night in the overseer's office I first learned of Braun's involvement in Voltaic's Social Preservation Program and his work on something called DEC, the Garden Information Kit. To be honest, the DEC seemed cute fantasy.
I'm gonna eat your arm when you're
There's
dead!
nothing short of a terraforming module capable of complete lifelessness. Not only was this thing it was actually distributed to several vaults to be used after the atomic
Vault 101 was, sadly, not on that list.
I did some digging and discovered Braun's name on the reservation list for a Vault 112. I'm no slouch, but this man, he could have easily succeeded when he failed. Does his collective knowledge remain in the halls of Vault? Journals, holotapes, computer records, maybe even experiments. If I could gain access to just a fraction of Braun's genius, Project Purity would become a reality. I'm off to Vault 112 to search for anything of Braun's that might help me get this purifier up and running. All I know is that it's west of some place called Evergreen Mills, and it's well hidden in some sort of garage. But I'll find it. It's so close. But that's the story of Project Purity, isn't it? An eternity of almost theirs. Let's see if Braun has the missing puzzle piece. So, here I am, back where it all began. Project Purity.
Now try and hide from this!
You really thought the fortunes of life could be a reality. And that's why this is a momentous occasion. Because even after 19 years, I still believe it. Project Purity can and will be operational. This is just the beginning. This is day 2 of my attempt to resurrect this project. I've got one of the portable fusion generators up and running, but it's just enough to power the emergency lighting and a couple of other systems. It will serve for now, but I'll need help powering up the mainframe. Time to visit Madison at Rivet City. I spoke with Dr. Lee, Madison, at Rivet City. It went about as well as I expected. That is to say, she thinks I'm completely mad. How can I blame her? She's got her own life, her own team, and is making real, tangible scientific progress. Here I come again, the very paragon of failure and false promises. But the reality is...
Now try and hide from
whatever
this!
scientific team she may have assigned, I can't do this myself. Project Purity is bigger than me. It always was. Without Catherine, God, I can't let this die. Not again. Not like this. Well, here we are again. Project Purity and me. It's been close to 20 years since my last entry. Since I left all of this behind to make a life for my daughter. We spent that time in Vault 101, tucked away from the rest of the world. It wasn't perfect, but it was safe, and that's all I could have hoped for. Now my daughter is a grown woman. Beautiful. Confident.
Can you spare
As hard as it was to admit it, she doesn't need her daddy anymore.
That batch of tests was inconclusive, but Madison and I are convinced it's a problem with the secondary filtration system. We're going to recalibrate the equipment and try again tomorrow, so that... James, please.
The sooner
Trying
you
to
find
work.
my property, the
Now's
sooner
not the
I can get out
time.
of this slum.
So that's
Really?
the next step.
How do you people
Assuming
live
we
like
get the
this?
results we need, we'll move on to... James!
Harkness, you
Stop.
say?
I need to finish
Yes.
these notes.
Yes, that makes sense. He used to work for a
We'll move
special
on to
branch of the
diagnosing the
Commonwealth
issues with the
Police,
radiation
after all.
dampeners.
And
That
he's
should-
right
Ow!
here, in Rivet
James!
City.
Now?
Excellent. I must
We
wait,
really shouldn't.
find an opportune moment to confront him. Thank you for your discreet assistance and continued discretion regarding this matter. And now for your payment. This combat module will directly affect your central nervous system. I think you will find it quite beneficial.
Hey,
Yeah, you need something?
Any luck finding out how Rivet City got started? Aha! Not just as easy as asking around, was it? Good information takes real work to uncover after all. So, tell me all about it. Well, this data looks legitimate. An outgrowth of a science station, huh? Just goes to show what I always say about cleverness. A bit of smarts leads to a big reward, huh? Speaking of which, in thanks, have a few of these for the next time you've got to be quick on your wits. Oh, and I'll let the Rivet City traders know they'll be favorably mentioned in the book. You'll get a discount buying gear from them in the future. I've got to do a section on working with old computer electronics, so there's some research to be done in the old Robco production facility. Also, there used to be a big library out there. Imagine a whole building full of books. I'll need you to gather information there for me. And that'll be it for the last chapter. So, what'll it be? It does, doesn't it? I mostly just deal with it after it's junked. But a trader gave me this Robco processor widget. He said it's worth a fortune. According to him, if it's connected to the mainframe in the Robco factory, you could have access to all the robots you'd ever want. Now that would be a great example of how to harness technology, wouldn't it? Yeah, you should just be able to plug it into the mainframe at the Robco production facility. It'll give you access to the robots and terminals. Okay, here. And be sure to keep an eye peeled for any other examples of how to make old technology work for you out there.
along, please.
Till next time, this is John Henry Ian, signing off.
Move along, please. Scanning for hostiles. Attack on target. Please cover until the danger has been eliminated. Commencing lawful use of deadly force. Engaging hostile. Target. Your cooperation is requested. Move along, please. Move along.